The alien research station floated silently above the glassy oceans of Arendor 7, its towering spires of bioluminescent metal glowing faintly against the vast darkness of space. The station hummed with life, quiet, calculated, precise. Dr. Lyra Venn, one of the top xenobiologists of the Galactic Science Collective, stepped onto the observation deck. Her boots clicked against the polished metal floor as she adjusted her scanning goggles. Ahead, the containment bay stretched like a cathedral of science. Rows of stasis pods glimmered softly, each holding an extinct species resurrected from ancient DNA. Mammoths, dodos, saber-toothed cats. But one pod stood apart. It was a human clone. As the pod hissed open, the first flicker of life revealed eyes that glowed faintly blue, scanning the world outside with curiosity and intelligence. Lyra froze, her breath caught. There was something about him, something unlike the other clones. He blinked, studying her as if trying to decode her very presence. His movements were cautious, yet deliberate, reflecting thought, awareness, and wonder. While the other clones obeyed instinct and programming, this one hesitated, questioning the air, the light, the being watching him. Lyra's heart raced. Scientists called it an anomaly. She called it fascinating and dangerous. "Welcome back to the universe," she whispered, almost to herself. The clone tilted his head, a hint of recognition in his expression, as if understanding more than she intended. Something inside him resisted replication. Something human. The station's lights reflected off the water far below, shimmering like distant stars. And as Lyra studied him, she realized he wasn't just a project. He was something alive, unpredictable, and utterly extraordinary. The containment bay was silent, save for the soft hum of the life support systems and the distant pulse of the station. Lyra watched him move with a grace she didn't expect from a human clone. Every step, every glance seemed measured yet alive, carrying the spark of something no algorithm could reproduce. "You're different," she said softly, more to herself than to him. The clone tilted his head, eyes glimmering with intelligence and curiosity, as if he understood her perfectly. He stepped closer to the observation window, his gaze lingering on the galaxy sprawled below. Millions of stars, planets, civilizations, yet none like him. Lyra noticed the subtle nuances in his behavior. The other clones followed their programming: eat, react, repeat. He hesitated, explored, questioned. He paused by a small mechanical drone, watching it float and pivot mid-air, and reached out, fingers trembling with fascination. The drone blinked in response, a simple feedback loop, yet he paused longer, trying to interpret. "Why are you like this?" she whispered. He looked back at her, directly, intentionally, and for the first time Lyra felt the weight of recognition. Something deep within him resonated with a familiarity she couldn't place, a memory not written in his DNA. Alarm klaxons blared suddenly, snapping the bay into chaos. A containment breach had occurred in another sector. One of the cloned predators had broken free. Lyra instinctively moved toward the controls, but he acted before her, dodging with uncanny reflexes, eyes sharp, body fluid and precise. He intercepted the predator's first strike with bare hands, an impossible feat for a human. His strength, speed, and awareness were staggering but controlled. There was purpose in every motion, intent that no clone had ever displayed. Lyra's heart raced. He wasn't just a human. He was something beyond replication, something that challenged every rule she had ever known. As the predator lunged again, he dodged effortlessly, grabbing a nearby energy rod and using it to contain the creature. The facility's alarms grew louder, red lights flashing across the walls, painting them both in stark, dramatic hues. Lyra finally spoke, voice trembling between awe and fear. You're alive. Not just alive, but you!" He turned to her, gaze steady and unafraid, a silent acknowledgement that he understood her, that he knew he was more than DNA, more than science. Outside the containment bay, the galaxy pulsed quietly, indifferent yet full of possibility, and Lyra realized this was only the beginning. The corridor lights flickered as Lyra led him through the winding facility halls. Every echo of their footsteps bounced back, sharp and deliberate, reminding them both that they were not alone. The containment breach had triggered emergency protocols, and the AI sentries were scanning for anomalies. Any movement out of line would be met with lethal force. He walked beside her, cautious yet confident. Each step he took radiated a humanity she could feel in her chest, a subtle warmth amidst the cold metal walls. Unlike the other clones, he didn't just react. He observed, questioned, and adjusted. Instincts and curiosity intertwined in perfect balance. "Why were you created?" Lyra asked, her voice low, almost a whisper. He stopped briefly, gaze fixed on a cracked panel overhead, the soft hum of the systems reflected in his eyes. "I don't know," he admitted, voice steady. "But I feel more than programming, something they didn't anticipate." Lyra studied him. That more, it was what had set him apart from the other clones, the spark no genetic sequence could replicate. She realized then that what made him human wasn't his DNA, it was his choices, his curiosity, his defiance. A sudden alarm blared, red lights bathing the corridor in urgency. One of the containment predators had breached the secondary barrier and was heading toward them. Its elongated limbs and glimmering claws moved with terrifying precision. He didn't hesitate. He sprinted forward with incredible agility, intercepting the creature before it could strike. With a fluid motion, he used a nearby energy conduit as leverage, knocking the predator off balance. Every move was controlled, almost elegant, yet lethal. Lyra's breath caught. "No clone could do that," she whispered. He glanced at her, eyes glowing softly in the emergency lights. "I'm not a clone," he said simply. The predator recovered, lunging again, faster and more desperate. He reacted instinctively, grabbing a loose panel from the wall and using it like a shield to deflect the creature's swipe. Sparks flew, metal screeched, and the predator roared, but he stood firm. In that moment, Lyra understood the truth. This human wasn't just the product of alien science. He embodied what her species feared yet secretly admired: resilience, ingenuity, and a spark that could never be replicated. As the predator fell back, incapacitated but not destroyed, he turned to Lyra, extending a hand, not commanding, not requesting, but offering partnership. She took it, and in that grasp a silent bond was forged, stronger than fear, suspicion, or science. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, cold and indifferent, yet full of infinite possibilities. Lyra realized they were stepping into a story far bigger than themselves, one that could change how the universe viewed humanity, and perhaps
the facility's corridors twisted deeper into the heart of the alien complex. Lyra and the human moved silently, shadows among shadows, their steps synchronized, precise and deliberate. Every sensor, every panel flickering with alien script, carried a silent threat. They were trespassing where no human had any right to be. "This section," Lyra murmured, her voice low, almost reverent, "is forbidden. Even most of my kind are not allowed in here." He glanced around, eyes sharp yet calm. "Then it's the perfect place for us to find answers." Ahead, the air grew thick with ozone and the metallic tang of advanced machinery. Through reinforced glass, they glimpsed vats of bioluminescent fluid, each containing the faint outline of alien DNA structures, or perhaps clones in their earliest stages. It was a laboratory not just of science, but of power, control, and secrets too dangerous for the universe to see. Lyra's amber eyes narrowed. "They've been trying to replicate humans," she said, her voice a whisper, almost as if saying it aloud might make it real. "But every attempt lacks something. Every one fails." He nodded slowly. "Because it's not just biology. There's a spark, something they cannot engineer, cannot measure, cannot force into a vial or sequence." A sudden shiver ran through the facility, the lights dimming as a massive security sentinel activated in the adjacent hall. Its glowing red eyes scanned with calculated precision, every servo whirring in anticipation of movement. Lyra stiffened. "We cannot be seen here. If they detect us here, even I cannot guarantee your survival." He smiled faintly, but determined. "Then we make our own path." With deliberate speed, Lyra guided him along maintenance catwalks above the main laboratory. The predator drones below moved like ghosts, scanning the room for anomalies. Every step required patience, calculation, and trust. Trust in him, and trust in the spark that made him human. They reached the core of the lab, a vast chamber where the alien researchers conducted experiments on both DNA and consciousness itself. Holographic schematics floated above the surfaces, showing genetic mappings, clone simulations, and warnings blinking in alien text. Lyra's amber eyes narrowed. "They've been trying to replicate humans," she said, her voice a whisper, almost as if saying it aloud might make it real. "But every attempt lacks something. Every one fails." He nodded slowly. "Because it's not just biology. There's a spark, something they cannot engineer, cannot measure, cannot force into a vial or sequence." A soft hum began, an alert system awakening, sensing their presence. In that instant, every panel, every drone, every energy conduit became a threat. He turned to Lyra, eyes glowing faintly in the low light. "Then we take control," he said, calm but determined. In a flurry of movement, he used his surroundings, leveraging energy conduits, repurposing alien tools, and outmaneuvering the AI systems to disable surveillance one by one. Lyra watched, impressed, yet unsettled. No clone or human should have been capable of this. When silence finally returned, the chamber lay still. The hum of machines faded, and the air seemed almost to breathe with anticipation. Lyra looked at him, realizing fully that he was more than just a survivor. He was a force the universe had underestimated. The final display flickered, revealing something new. A hidden archive containing records of alien experiments, not just on humans, but on entire species, civilizations, and the galaxy itself. The truth was massive, dangerous, and almost too powerful to comprehend. He turned to her. "We need to see everything," he said, resolute. Lyra nodded, her hand brushing against his. "Then we step into the storm," she whispered, "together." Above them, the stars watched, indifferent yet infinite. And in that infinite darkness, two fugitives, human and alien, prepared to uncover the secrets that would shake the galaxy to its core.
The hidden archive pulsed faintly, projecting streams of alien data across the dark chamber, illuminating Lyra's striking blue skin and the human's focused expression. Every flicker revealed secrets of civilizations erased, experiments on life forms, and the terrifying reach of the alien hierarchy. "We don't have much time," Lyra said, her voice low, urgent. "Once they detect the breach, the entire facility will mobilize." He nodded, absorbing the weight of their discovery. "Then we move before they even realize we exist." As they slipped through maintenance corridors, the distant hum of sentry drones grew louder, synchronized footsteps echoing through the hallways. Every shadow became a potential hunter, every sound could betray them. Suddenly, a cluster of drones burst around the corner, sleek, metallic, and deadly. Red sensors locked on him immediately. "Stay behind me," Lyra commanded, her posture coiled and predatory. Muscles tensing like drawn wires, claws extended, she was a force of nature in human form. The drones fired energy pulses, sharp beams slicing through the air. Lyra's reflexes were instantaneous. She caught one blast mid-air, redirecting it back with ferocious strength. Sparks and metal fragments rained down as the drones reeled. The human acted quickly, grabbing a discarded alien weapon from a console. Its unfamiliar contours felt intuitive in his grip. He fired, precision guiding each shot, striking drones before they could fully recover. Lyra moved with graceful brutality, slashing, vaulting, and smashing obstacles, turning the confined corridors into her personal arena. Every drone she dismantled was a statement. Humans, despite being underestimated, could fight back, especially when allied with one of the galaxy's most feared beings. Finally, after what felt like hours compressed into moments, the corridor fell silent. Only their ragged breathing remained echoing against the metal walls. "We've made them aware," Lyra said, her amber eyes sharp and calculating. "They'll send more, faster, smarter, stronger." He wiped sweat from his brow, weapons still humming faintly. "Then we become faster, smarter, stronger. We don't run, we adapt." She studied him, tilting her head, and a small smirk broke her fierce expression.
You are unlike any human I have ever known. There is something different, something they could never predict. The hum of distant alarms signaled their next challenge. A massive security hatch ahead slid open, revealing a chamber filled with armored alien enforcers, each taller than any human, weapons primed, and eyes glowing with lethal precision. He swallowed hard, gripping the weapon tighter. We're not leaving empty-handed. Whatever's in that archive, we expose it. We fight. Lyra's massive hand brushed his shoulder, a silent pact passing between them. Together, she said. The enforcers advanced, synchronized, merciless. But Lyra and the human were no longer just prey. They were a storm ready to strike, a living proof that the underestimated could reshape the rules of survival itself. And in the shadows of that alien facility, the hunt truly began.
The metallic corridor was echoed with the synchronized march of alien enforcers, their glowing eyes sweeping every shadow. Lyra's amber gaze cut through the dim light, assessing, calculating, every muscle coiled for combat. "We can't let them corner us," she whispered. Her voice was calm, but the underlying threat was palpable. "We need a distraction." He glanced at the alien weapon still humming faintly in his hands. "I can do it. I've studied their patrol patterns. I can lead them into the side corridors, give you a clear path." Lyra studied him, eyes narrowing. "You think you can survive alone?" "I have to try, for both of us," he said, determination sharpening his tone. Before she could respond, a sudden blinding flash erupted ahead. Security turrets activated automatically, sending streaks of energy that illuminated the corridor in bursts of white and blue. Lyra reacted instantly, vaulting into the air, claws extended, deflecting beams with raw strength and precise timing. The humans had never seen anything like her. He sprinted toward a side corridor, every step calculated. The enforcers followed, sensors locking onto the alien energy signature, oblivious to the trap he was setting. The facility's labyrinthine design became his ally, every twist and turn designed to separate them, disorient, and isolate. Lyra, meanwhile, moved like a phantom, eliminating threats with elegant brutality. A swipe of her claws, a single leap, and another enforcer was neutralized before they could react. Sparks flew, alarms blared, and yet she moved with terrifying grace, untouchable and unstoppable. Then, amidst the chaos, a familiar voice crackled through the facility comms, a voice that chilled him to the bone. "Specimen number H73. Deviation detected. Unauthorized alliance. Purge protocol initiated." The human froze. "It's Harlow," he whispered, shock and disbelief mingling in his voice. The one he thought lost or destroyed was here, orchestrating the hunt from the shadows. Lyra's eyes narrowed, a glow growl vibrating in her chest. "Then we adapt. Together." As the enforcers closed in again, the corridor seemed to twist and bend under their desperate movements. He darted through vents, ducked behind consoles, and fired with precision. Lyra covered every angle, a towering, unstoppable force, her blue skin gleaming under the warning lights, every movement both deadly and mesmerizing. Then amidst the chaos, one of the enforcers, taller, faster, and strangely familiar, emerged from the shadows, its aura pulsed with raw authority. Lyra's eyes locked on it, and recognition flared. "It's one of your kind," he said, heart hammering. She didn't answer. Instead, she leapt forward with terrifying speed, claws and strength combined into a strike that shattered armor and sent the enforcer crashing into the wall. The force of her blow rattled the entire corridor. But the warning lights continued to flash and the alarm grew louder. Harlow's voice echoed again. "You cannot hide. You cannot escape. Every move you make is mine to track." The human swallowed hard, gripping his weapon. "We won't let him win. We can't." Lyra's amber eyes met his. "Then we don't run. We fight smart. We survive." The corridor seemed endless, every corner a new danger, but together they became an unbreakable unit, a storm of defiance against the universe designed to erase them. And somewhere deep in the facility, Harlow watched, calculating, realizing that this unexpected alliance could change everything.
The facility stretched before them like a metallic maze, dark corridors twisting into shadowed corners, each one a potential trap. Lyra's senses were razor-sharp, every echo, vibration, and flicker of light analyzed instinctively. "We need to reach the core," she whispered, voice low but steady. "It's where we can turn this chase around." He followed closely, heart hammering, every step a calculated risk. The hum of alien energy thrummed through the walls, almost alive. Machines monitored, doors sealed, drones patrolled overhead. Every movement was watched, yet somehow, against impossible odds, they moved unseen. A sudden flare of blue light erupted from a side corridor. One of the automated defense drones hovered, sensors glowing red. Lyra's eyes narrowed, pupils contracting into sharp slits. With a single fluid motion, she vaulted, catching the drone mid-air, twisting it until sparks flew and circuits burned. It crashed to the floor with a deafening metallic scream. He breathed hard. "How are you so fast?" "Instinct," she replied, eyes scanning ahead, "and necessity." The core of the labyrinth was close. He could feel it. The air thickened, charged with energy, humming in time with his pulse. Every step brought them closer to Harlow and to answers they didn't yet fully understand. Then a corridor widened, revealing a gargantuan chamber lined with glowing panels and floating conduits. The walls pulsed with alien light, illuminating shadows that stretched impossibly far. In the center stood Harlow, tall, imposing, his pale form radiating control and menace. "Specimen H73, I knew you'd come. But this is the heart of my labyrinth. No one leaves here unchallenged." Lyra stepped forward, muscles coiled, claws at the ready, blue skin shimmering under the alien right. "We are not your specimens," she growled. "We decide our fate." Harlow's eyes flickered with recognition and calculation. "You've adapted, beyond protocol, but even adaptation has limits." The first move came with blinding speed. Harlow raised an arm, and gravity itself seemed to twist, forcing them to the floor. Lyra countered instantly, her claws digging into the metal floor, resisting the pull. Sparks flew as she launched herself upward, meeting Harlow midair, claws colliding with his reinforced armor in a shower of light. He fired the alien weapon, blue beams striking walls, creating temporary cover as Lyra engaged. The two moved as one, human and alien, coordinated, unstoppable, their bond visible in every glance, every gesture. But Harlow was cunning. The labyrinth shifted, walls sliding, floors rising, turning the chamber into a puzzle of deadly precision. Each misstep could mean capture or worse. The human shouted, "Lyra, to the conduit!" With barely a pause, she vaulted over a sliding wall, catching him mid-jump, carrying him across the widening gap. Sparks rained down as another automated defense system tried to activate, neutralized instantly by her sheer reflexes. Harlow's voice echoed, frustrated but cold. "You are learning. Too quickly. This will not end well for either of you." Lyra's amber eyes glowed, reflecting both determination and fury. "We make our own ending." Power surged around her, energy and strength converging in perfect harmony. Together they pressed forward, deeper into the labyrinth, knowing that every second brought them closer to freedom and closer to confronting the man who had betrayed their trust. But somewhere, deep within the shifting walls, Harlow was already planning the next move, and this labyrinth was far from.
The labyrinth's heart pulsed around them, walls glowing with alien energy, conduits humming like living veins. Lyra's massive frame moved with fluid precision, carrying him over obstacles, ducking under shifting panels, avoiding deadly automated defenses. Every step was measured, every breath controlled. Harlow awaited at the core, his presence towering, almost spectral, eyes cold and calculating. The room's energy pulsed in time with him, like he was the conductor of the entire chamber. "Lyra, human," he said, voice amplified by the alien tech. "You think your bond, your defiance can overcome evolution itself?" She stepped forward, amber eyes glowing fiercely. "It's not evolution you control. It's choice, and we choose to survive." Harlow's hand rose, and gravity twisted, pulling at them like a tidal wave. The human stumbled, heart hammering, but Lyra anchored him with an unyielding grip, resisting the pull. Sparks erupted from the walls as her claws scraped against metal, countering the distortion with raw strength and instinct. Harlow lashed out, his form moving faster than thought, each strike precise and devastating. Lyra parried, dodged, and struck back with a force that rattled the very floor. The air shimmered as alien energy collided with her own, creating bursts of light that illuminated the chamber like fireworks in slow motion. "You cannot win," Harlow shouted, voice echoing inside their minds. "This species, this anomaly, it must be contained or destroyed." "We are beyond containment," she growled, "and we are not anomalies. We are proof that survival is more than rules and experiments." The human pulled himself together, seizing a fallen alien device, instinctively activating it. A pulse of energy erupted, temporarily destabilizing the labyrinth systems.
Lyra leapt, claws tearing through a structural beam, sending sparks and molten metal cascading toward Harlow. For the first time, he faltered, his perfect control slipping. Lyra didn't hesitate. She lunged, grabbing him by the shoulders, forcing him to the ground, her enormous form dwarfing him. Her amber eyes burned with fury and conviction. "You underestimated us," she whispered, voice low, deadly, yet resonant with power. "Not just me, not just him. Humanity, defiance, life itself." The chamber shuddered violently as the alien tech reacted, systems overloading. Harlow's form flickered, destabilized, the perfect predator suddenly vulnerable. The human aimed the alien device at the core conduit, releasing a surge of energy that shattered the control matrix. Harlow screamed, a sound more mechanical than organic, as the labyrinth collapsed in controlled chaos, walls sliding, floors shifting, lights exploding. Lyra shielded him instinctively, her immense strength absorbing falling debris, protecting him like a living fortress. When the dust settled, the core lay in ruins. Harlow's presence was gone, neutralized or vanished, uncertain but defeated. The chamber's hum faded, replaced by the distant sound of the facility's failing systems. The human gasped, chest heaving, looking up at Lyra. We did it!" She lowered her massive head, amber eyes softening as they met his. "We endured," she said simply. "Together. That is what makes us more than survival." The labyrinth behind them crumbled entirely, light filtering through the broken ceiling, casting them in a halo of resilience. Beyond the walls, the alien world awaited, hostile but no longer insurmountable. Hand in hand, they stepped into the unknown, the bond between human and alien forged in fire, defiance, and unbreakable trust. They had faced the impossible and emerged as proof that life, choice, and courage could defy even the most relentless systems. Above, stars shone cold and indifferent, yet for the first time they felt the weight of possibility. The universe had watched, and humanity in them, had not only survived, it had triumphed.